Hello and welcome to the Australian Gamer Show. I'm Yug.
I am Phil.
I'm Simon.
Come on,
Yahtzee,
baby.
go.
Come on.
Go, man.
No, I'm sulking.
Why are you sulking?
I'm sulking because I had to go last, apparently.
No, last means you're the most important.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
means
I don't believe
he's
that.
No,
inferior.
okay, it's like when you see a movie at the cinemas, right? What leaves the most lasting impression? The final ending bit, right?
Breasts.
And the breasts. And I'm saying, like, if you see a movie that's really good for, like, the first 3 quarters, that last quarter, if it's crap, you won't like the movie. But if it's awesome, you are that last quarter of a movie.
Oh.
Yes.
So you're saying I'm awesome?
No.
Yes, you did.
Oh, for
You
fuck's
distinctly said something that one would infer such a thing from, hello, I'm Yahtzee.
I would suggest that Yahtzee is the credits.
Hey.
Yeah, I mean, like, the movie's good.
Okay, but the credits with, like, those humorous sort of, trailers, the comedy bits, the outtakes that play over the top of them.
Get to the bloody topics.
Okay, the topics that we're going to talk to tonight is EB PS3 deal. Someone else want to say the other ones?
Batman! 4 exclamation marks.
And 2 human.
I should probably preface this. You may have noticed that there is a distinct lack of Matt in this podcast.
I love it.
Some people will be rejoicing. I am. I know I am.
I've actually replaced Matt. I am the new Matt. Hello.
And
Yes, this is Simon, everyone.
this is Simon, who Yahtzee needs no introduction to the Australian Gamer podcast.
Of course not.
Yahtzee needs no introduction to anything, unfortunately. But Simon here is actually the latest member of the Australian Gamer team that
Hello.
isn't announced yet.
Yeah, so you shouldn't actually hear this because I'm not official yet. So.
You don't exist.
No, I don't exist.
You are a whisper, a shadow.
Yeah, look, let's actually jump into the first topics.
Thank you.
I'm just trying to keep kicking things along. You know how it is, man, right?
Yes,
You
yes.
love it?
Yahtzee's just sulking.
I have done this a few times.
I know, you love it.
I must say you're being very unprofessional so far.
This is the Australian Gamer Show. I mean, that is like our shtick.
Oh, fine.
Anyway, we've got the EB PS3 deal, which I think Phil knows the most about.
I
out
do
of any of
indeed.
us.
I don't necessarily know the most about it. I mean, I know because it's a really simple deal, but I hate EB like the most of everybody.
Can I just jump in there? I don't think that's really fair.
Why? Because you love losing all your money very fast?
No, I mean, you've got to buy your games from somewhere. Why is there all this EB hate? Seriously, I mean, really.
Okay, I'll tell you why. I used to go to EB, maybe when I was 16, 17, and it was just a different atmosphere then. The store was entirely different. Nowadays, it's just constant pre-orders. They make their money pre-ordering, selling insurance to customers that don't take care of their games, selling 10% edge cards, all this shit that is just... I know it's their goal to make money, but it's just...
No. I'll tell you what makes EB Games evil, and that's the second-hand stuff.
Yeah, the pre-orders.
Not the pre-orders, the pre-owned.
No, sorry, pre-owned, yeah.
I was reaching for that word. But they're evil because they make 100% profit from that. None of that money goes to the hard-working developers, of whom several of our friends of ours.
I get that, but like, sorry, if that game doesn't sell well the first time, well, kind of tough, you know.
Well,
what I
no,
mean?
the thing is, a customer will come in and say, I have all these different games to trade in, and they'll give you a pittance for them. And then turn around and mark them up. How much percent? 100%?
$1,000,000%.
$1 million.
$1 million.
Yeah, they actually charge
$1
$1
million.
according to Yahtzee.
Yeah, they're like, you bring them something like GTA 4, which you paid $120 for. They'll give you like a $5, and then they'll sell it for like $110.
And it's even worse because if you happen to be at an EB Games near, I always use JB Hi-Fi as a comparison.
Sure.
If you happen to be at an EB Games near JB Hi-Fi, like the Indrapilli EB Games, you go there and you go, okay, pre-owned games, GDA, $89 pre-owned, the latest release, whatever, $79 pre-owned, and you go to JB Hi-Fi, you can buy the exact same game for cheaper, brand new, still in the plastic.
Okay, so sorry, what is this issue at the moment with the PlayStation
the
3
PS3
thing?
deal.
Yeah,
yes.
Basically, there's an ad that someone posted in the forums, and it says, you trade in your 60GB PS3.
I should preface this by saying the 60GB PS3 is backwards compatible as well.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Yes. You trade in your 60GB PS3, which is, an older model, but PlayStation 3 has gone through about 800 different models so far.
800?
Yeah, like the 1,000,000% markup on EB Games. It's gone through $800.
Oh, you wish to tempt the mistress of hyperbole too, do you?
Yep, indeed, good sir, indeed.
I actually don't know what that means.
Hyperbole.
Yes, what is that?
That's when you say something like ridiculously big.
Why
prove
did you
a
just
point.
say ridiculously big? Oh, okay. Right.
When you say like 1,000,000% instead of like 100%.
Okay, all right. fair
Actually,
enough.
going back to JB, I used to work at JB prior to this, and I have to say they don't really know what they're doing with games. I mean, no, it's good. Their prices are good.
That's
and stuff.
it. There's actually one member on our forums, ZNMS, who works at JB, and he's this constant, mascot. That's the wrong word. What is the word when you're promoting?
Shill.
Representative. Shill. For JB, and like, we all love JB, don't we?
Actually,
Why do we
well,
not love them?
Well, my main reason is a little biased because while working there, I was on probation, and they let me go at the end of my probation. But
Are you kidding?
yeah, no.
So hold on.
What
You're-
crime did you commit?
How
How long were you in
like
jail?
I only stole so many things, and they never found it. No, I mean
No, just wait. So let me get this straight. You're not good enough to work at JB Hi-Fi, and yet you're now on the Australian Gamer
Well,
team.
you know,
Yes!
you guys were easier to get a job with than any job off the street.
It's easier to get into Matt's pants than it is to get a job at JB Hi-Fi.
Everyone knows
Put it that way.
We mentioned that Matt is sick.
We'll get
Sorry.
onto that in the Batman
okay,
segment.
we don't
We'll
want to get off topic or anything.
Oh, no.
That would be a crime against nature. The EB PS3 deal, 60GB PlayStation 3, you trade that in along with $200, as in you give them your PS3, $200 cash.
And 3 games.
And 3 games.
Really?
3 PlayStation
Shit,
3
That's what I
games.
heard.
And they will give you an 80GB PS3, which is the new model,
So
the new SKU or
Explain the
SKU or
benefits
whatever.
of these
Explain
20 gigs.
Explain the benefits of 20 gig. It's 20GB hard drive. How much would it cost to buy a 20GB hard drive? You can't even buy these.
Well, now, this is the thing, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I am not a PlayStation 3. I'm a PlayStation 3 sub-owner sort of thing. I got a mate that I went halves with, and he owns it, and he keeps it down in Sydney, because I never play it. But as far as I know, you can actually quite easily, and without voiding the warranty, take the PlayStation 3 hard drive out and swap it with a different one. Is that right?
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
No. None of you know.
Actually, you might be able to, but I'm not.
I'm missing Matt already, aren't you?
I think
No.
there's a chance.
No, I'm really not. Don't say that, man. Sorry, I should just preface this quickly by saying Matt is sick. He is too sick to do a podcast. We didn't just forget to call him.
Yes, he's got leprosy, and his legs have fallen off.
They are. It's quite funny.
Yes. Oh.
Oh, leprosy.
He takes it in good humour.
Oh,
boy.
yes, he does.
At least we assume so. His
as
jaw
we-
has fallen off as well.
As we grab his limbs and fling them around, and look, I'm Matt with his legs.
Well, I haven't seen the PS3 hard drive. I don't own one, but is it like an internal? Because the 360's got its.
I
slot
don't
in.
know. I don't own a PlayStation 3.
Well, okay. Basically, the entire thing is you are sacrificing backwards compatibility for PlayStation 2 games. You are sacrificing 3 PlayStation 3 games. You are sacrificing $200 cash to get grand benefit to you, 20 extra gigabytes on a hard drive.
Well, think how many lady pictures
Now-
you could store on
Now,
that.
you can go to any store and buy a, 500 gigabyte hard drive for how much? $100, $150?
But they won't be a 200 gig hard drive that you paid so much money for.
See, here's the thing. I mean,
There's a sentimental attachment there.
I have a lot of trouble actually relating to this because, like, I'm not that obsessed with the PlayStation 3. But I think if I try and think back to, say, the Mega Drive, Sega Mega Drive, right? Now, I loved that system. I thought it was great. And you know what?
Boy.
I bought a Mega CD. And you know what else I did? I bought a 32X.
Die.
You're awesome.
You don't deserve to live.
Settle down. I'm saying I was such a big fan of that system and its capabilities. I wanted the latest and greatest Sega hardware at that time. Now, I
owned an Amiga CD32.
Aha!
So I can't talk.
You can't
Yahtzee
talk- yeah,
dishes out
exactly.
death and punishment based on consoles owned.
Pretty much. I killed myself twice.
But yeah, I mean that's the thing. I mean, when it comes to the PlayStation 3, this new deal, if you are a Sony fanboy, you're going to want that extra 80 gig.
Well, it's not an extra 80 gig. It's an extra 20 gig.
Sorry, extra 20 gig.
But But it's not even a case of being a Sony fanboy. You get no Sony benefit except you lose some of your games, and you get an extra 20 gigs hard drive, which makes.
Sorry, can I just throw this out there? But and I might be, a minority in this, but does anyone really give a shit anymore about backwards compatibility?
Yeah.
Yeah, PS2 is still getting games developed.
Yeah,
and it's still a huge back catalogue of some amazingly good games.
And I totally hear that. I really do. But how many? I just know, for example, like the PlayStation 3. I never play any of the PlayStation 2. How many people actually played any PlayStation 1 games on the PlayStation 2?
I did. I played Silent Hill and Metal Gear Solid.
I did, and I'm planning on playing plenty more in the future. Resident Evil, Final Fantasy series.
All right, fine. You win. See, I'm the minority.
Current generation graphics are so advanced in such a horrible way that has so much manpower work done on them that current generation games are suffering quality-wise, and to take away one's ability to look at the history of games with the older games that were still good is like it's like catching a disease in your pants.
Like Matt.
Yes.
Yes,
He got pants leprosy. That's why his legs fell off.
His legs fell off? Is that all? I believe if you get pants leprosy, there's more... Okay, now let's not go down.
Okay. His buttocks fell off as well.
Backwards compatibility it's just handy. I mean, some people's PS2s don't work. Mine happens to work. It's like 6 years old now. It still works as good as the day I bought it. But, I mean, and if it breaks, fine. I can buy a new one for cheap. But...
I know you guys are going to hate this, but... The only reason I would want backwards compatibility is to play SingStar, and you can't plug the mics.
Is this another dose of death for Yug?
Yes, but I can sympathise because I would have wanted to play Guitar Hero.
Yeah, exactly.
With my existing PS2 controllers.
Yeah.
But no PS2 ports on the PS3, so much for that.
It's a massive undersight, in my opinion. But anyway, look, let's just sum this one up.
Okay, the deal.
The deal.
The deal isn't about Sony. It's not about PlayStation. It's about EB ripping off the consumers,
now,
and it's wrong.
Let's be honest. This is an EB deal. I can't imagine that Sony said to EB, "Hey, how about you do this so we can sell more PlayStation 3s?" This would be an EB thing, right?
Well, I don't think blaming Sony was something any of us were doing. We were all blaming EB.
No, okay.
EB's always had pretty ridiculous deals. If you remember when the current generation consoles came out, there was trade in 12 PS2 games with your PS2.
Yeah.
And ultimately you ended up spending about $1,300 on that to get something that's worth
pretty much all EB deals along these lines.
Yeah,
it's always trade in your console and 500 games to get the same console, but in a different color and with a nice leather
Do they
case.
sell pre-owned games? Like if you buy a pre-owned game and then sell it back to them, do they
you can
resell
do that.
it? So they can basically sell you the same games again and again and again.
Yep. In fact, I've seen particularly shitty games in the bargain bin over and over again, doing the rounds.
You would be. I mean, that would be interesting to actually find out. See how many times EB has sold one particular game. I wonder actually what the record would be.
Could we pick a really popular game, like an obvious?
Do you want to track a game?
Yeah, and put a tracking thing on it, and actually go in, buy it, and then after 2 weeks go back and sell it
to a different store as well.
And
different stores.
No, screw that. Just do the same store. Let's just see how much we can actually get this pre-owned game.
Well, it can't be a popular game. It'd have to be a quite obscure one so we can recognise it.
All right. Let's say But one that would actually they'd put back out. I'm thinking like Fahrenheit or something.
I'm thinking a PlayStation 2 game so we can play it on our PlayStation 3s.
PS2 game.
Yeah, sounds like an interesting idea.
I'm actually pretty keen to do this.
Good idea, Phil. Oh, thanks, Phil. Yeah.
You're talking to yourself now.
Perhaps we could get our loyal listeners to have a go at this
guys.
experiment.
Yes, that takes the pressure off us to actually do anything. I like that.
How much money would we have to pay? Because we've got to buy it, then sell it back for the smallest amount of money.
Or maybe a game we've already got that we don't want.
I've
got a copy of Fahrenheit that I never play.
There we go.
I'll take that. We're not selling the EB. I'm sure I'll find a crappy game.
It's kind of a shitty game.
Hey, it's an awesome game.
It's not kind of a shitty game. It's kind of a good game, but it's
Old
also...
ladies are the internet.
Don't start with the last quarter of Fahrenheit.
Okay.
Well,
Ooh.
Oh, no, here we go.
We're not earlier saying that the last quarter of a film is the most important part.
That's a film, not a game. You're not a game.
Chinny on.
Chinny
on, my friend.
Let's not get into this, please. Okay, but this latest PS3 deal is just the most extreme example of
Bullshit.
Look, let's be honest, okay? Any gamer in his right mind is just not going to do this. It's just a shame that this targets the general gaming consumers that don't know any better. And I think that's unfortunate that they're going to get ripped off this badly.
But just think what you can do with 20 gigabytes. Like, everyone knows... Okay, if
I've got more porn than that, man.
You've got a PS3 with 20 gigabytes more than other people. That means your, like, dick is fucking huge. Like, compared to your average consumer... No. It's like with pimping...
Sorry. Whoa, I don't see the analogy.
No, it's like with pimping your PC. You know, you've got fucking water cooling systems in there. You've got 20 gigabytes more than your average dude. You're fucking the king of, like... gaming.
You're the king
you're
the king of PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
You get a fucking crown. This shit is... No, I'm serious. Like, 20 gigabytes. You could store... Think of how many pictures of yourself you could put on that. Fuck.
Matt is getting wet just hearing about this.
PS3s. You get to elect barons.
All right.
And you have the droit de seigneur.
All right, stop. We're moving
Hammer
to the next
time.
topic. All right.
Okay.
All right, that's that topic definitely exhausted. Now, the next topic we've got, we weren't sure what to call it, so we just, prefaced it by saying Batman.
Batman.
Because there's a lot of Batman stuff going around at the moment. Now,
just to run through them, there's the Dark Knight issues, there's Lego Batman, and there's Arkham Asylum.
Exactly. I think we should start with Arkham Asylum, the most promising looking Batman title.
It looks interesting because they're going for a sort of gritty Chronicles of Riddick horror sort of look. But what I said when I saw this immediately is that if they're going for horror, don't make the player character Batman.
You can't really be
Batman.
You can't be scared when you're Batman.
No, exactly. You cannot be scared if you're Batman. And I was thinking that it would be really good if you were playing like a normal guy. And just
Commissioner Gordon or something?
I don't know. Just Batman showed up now and then as like a secondary character or something. But the lead guy's like just I don't know, the Riddler or something.
So Arkham Asylum is set in an asylum.
It's in Arkham Asylum, yeah.
In Gotham City. And I think there's Bane is in it. And the Joker.
The Joker's,
yep.
I think
okay,
the Joker's the main villain.
Just putting it out there, but why would Batman actually go in there? I mean, it's Arkham Asylum. Just like shut it down or something like...
I think maybe, I guess the inmates maybe took over and would...
From what
I've seen, probably got a death ray or something.
screenshots of like the Joker looking happy, and there's like...
well, he doesn't really look sad very often, man.
And there's thugs wearing like clown masks, so I presume the Joker's taken over Arkham Asylum.
Of course he has, yeah.
Of course, that's what he does.
That's what he does. He's the Joker.
Yes.
Is
it an action game or is it like survival horror?
It's looking like first-person shooter to me.
Yeah.
Oh, because this is the first time I've heard of the game.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
There were some leaked
5 minutes
screenshots
ago.
on
Yeah,
Kotaku.
some developer actually put up a whole... Why do developers do that? They're like, hey, check it out. I've been working on this unannounced game. Let me put some screenshots up on my blog. I'm sure no one's going to find them.
Wait, so are you saying this is first person? What are you saying?
I think it's
yeah, we don't want to confirm that one.
What's he going to do? He's going to punch in first person?
Batman doesn't have a gun.
No, I know. But
There
like
are
a first person... I mean, Mirror's Edge is one game that's...
Condemned and
Yeah,
Condemned
that's
2.
true.
They did melee
That's true.
combat very
But I mean,
well.
am I going to be
person.
just throwing batarangs all day? And
See, to be honest, I actually thought it was third person, but
it could
let's be honest, we don't know this.
We don't know.
We don't
We
know.
have no idea.
There was
We're
a
making
first
things
person. There was a first person segment in Fahrenheit in an asylum. Remember that,
and it-
Yahtzee?
yes, and
remember
it was
that?
shit.
It was awesome.
Look, I actually think this game is fourth person. You actually play as someone else
playing the
playing
game.
the game.
That's very meta, man.
Can you imagine playing a game where it's a lounge room? Actually, shit, that's Grand Theft Auto, isn't it?
Is it?
Well, not Grand Theft. Yeah. Yes, it is. No, what is it? There's no.
You're saying like playing a game where you're playing a person playing a game.
Project
like
Gotham Racing.
Shenmue, you do that.
Yes, Shenmue or Project Gotham Racing. Any game where you walk up to an arcade cabinet and you can play a game. You can do it in Grand Theft Auto 4.
Doom 3.
Yeah, that turkey punching game.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a good game.
Oh, yeah.
Maniac Day of the Tentacle. You could play the original Maniac Mansion on someone's computer. Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Well, you could.
That's cool.
And a couple of games have done it.
Have any games done it where you play a guy and then in that game you can then find a console and then play another game within it? And you could maybe go back generations. You know, you'll unlock a next-gen game, you're playing an Xbox game, and then you go back and you play like a...
I think that is way too much effort for any developer to actually give a shit about.
So, like,
Pretty much.
a game where you play a guy who's playing a PlayStation 2 game on a PlayStation 3.
Why did I go for the 80 gig option?
Okay, this game sounds like shit, but we're talking about Batman. Arkham Asylum, there's also Lego Batman, which I think comes out either this weekend or next.
Yeah, obviously that's much more the campy side of Batman.
Now, I'm looking forward to this one, and the reason is I was really disappointed by Lego Indiana Jones.
Oh?
I'll tell you why. Because I think you may have actually said this, Yahtzee. Who the fuck wants to play as anyone else in the Indiana Jones universe apart from Indiana Jones?
Well, Short Round, man.
No! What the hell is... He's the comic relief.
I know, he's awesome.
He's not awesome.
What
does he do?
Hang on, this is what I
He goes,
just
"Hey,
figured out.
Indy."
Yahtzee, were you the one who said you didn't like Short Round?
I think I said in my review that Short Round is annoying, but you can beat him to smithereens in Lego Indiana Jones, and that makes him nice again.
I never knew that. I never knew that there were people out there who possibly didn't think Short Round was like the coolest little kid ever.
You were one of those people who watched Temple of Doom when you were a child, then.
Yeah.
No, sorry, look, listen.
Who didn't?
When it comes to a choice between playing as Indiana Jones with a whip, a gun, Harrison Ford, and some obscure little Asian kid with no actual abilities or skills whatsoever.
There is no point in Lego Indiana Jones where you can't play Indiana Jones.
That kid could drive. I don't even think he had a license.
Actually, that's a good point, yeah.
Just think he could probably operate heavy machinery without a license for that. Just think of what he could do.
I don't know, anything.
He beat up that little bitch Prince dude in Temple of Doom, remember? When Indy was fighting that big
Dude, that
guy.
Kid, that little Prince thing looked like he hadn't eaten for weeks. That doesn't
I
count.
know, and Short Round kicked his ass.
Look, anyway, the reason I'm bringing that up is that I think Lego Batman Lego Star Wars, you could play as all the Star Wars characters, and there was appeal in that. Lego Batman, there is an appeal in playing as Robin or Catwoman or Joker or Two-Face or all these actual cool characters. I would want to play as them. I'm looking forward to it.
Do they let you mix and match like they did in Lego Star Wars? Can I be Short Round's body with, Indy's head and like that other guy? I don't know the Indiana Jones
actually, that's a good question.
They did have a bit in Indiana Jones where you could switch the body parts around, but it was on like a statue, so you couldn't actually play as that.
Well, that's shit.
Anyway, when we're talking about
there may be like
Batman,
you may be able to play as
mix
and match characters.
We've gone into Indiana Jones from Batman.
I'm sorry. Okay, let's go into Batman.
I think
I want to play as Batman's head, Robin's pants,
and
Catwoman's.
No, Short Round's feet with his blocks attached to the bottom, so you can step high. But
stop going back to fucking Indiana Jones.
Okay, sorry, I'm the one who was talking against it. But Batman, there's this crazy hype at the moment with Batman from obviously the Dark Knight movie, and we're talking about this game that's coming out. We don't know when, but when this game comes out, everyone's probably going to be over the hype.
So which one?
The Arkham Asylum. Yeah.
Yes.
So everyone's on their crazy, Batman hype.
Joker high.
Yeah, the Joker high and stuff. Like, but when it finally does hit and everyone's over that, are they going to care?
No one will ever get over Joker high because The Dark Knight is awesome, and anyone who hasn't seen it is a leper.
I was just about to say that. Matt hasn't seen it. We would like to publicly insult him for that.
You know how much this shits me that Matt hasn't seen it? Matt, I constantly turn to Matt and actually say, dude, how could you not have seen this movie? Right? As in, there's quite a few movies like this that he hasn't seen. The Dark Knight, I don't think there's any excuse. Anyone that has even a remote interest in... Anyone who's even a remote geek has to see this movie.
He's scared of bats. Phobia of bats.
He saw the first one. He thought it was average.
Oh, okay. He was just saying that. He was masking it.
And so he's like, oh... Well, he went and saw... He went to the cinemas, walked in with his girl, bought the tickets... and actually said, you know what, actually, let's see Kung Fu Panda.
What?
Didn't he have his son with him?
No. Now, I'm not saying Kung Fu Panda's a bad movie. I'm just saying if I hadn't... You are?
I fucking thought it's marketing. Just Kung Fu Panda marketing.
All right,
that was just called Jack Black is a Panda.
I'm all right with that.
Okay.
Well, getting back to The Dark Knight.
Oh, yeah.
In all fairness, there is a certain amount of hysteria around it at the moment where people might be looking at it as slightly better than it actually is.
Exactly.
And I'd want to take another look at it further down the line, but at the moment...
Also, I think this whole...
You, for example, are kind of mindless in your praise for it.
Hey! I am not.
Also, I think this Batman hysteria is kind of misguided because, okay, we've got all the Lego Batman coming out, which is cool, great for kids and adults, I guess. But the whole catalyst for this hysteria is The Dark Knight. And I was watching TV and they have like ads for, hey kids, come in and get your Dark Knight movie meal at Hungry Jack's or whatever. And you get kids' toys. The whole point is The Dark Knight is not a kids' movie. It's just not.
But it's not MA rated, is it? Or it's
And the reason for that is they very carefully didn't put any blood in it.
Yeah,
or boobs.
Yeah. I know.
Boobs.
I know.
Yeah, boobs.
No, actually, now
totally...
look. Let's actually just get. That's a really good way to bring it into the last Batman game, which is a bit of a sore topic, especially for the four of us that live in Brisbane, right? Now, there's a Dark Knight. I'm going to go out and say it. There's a Dark Knight game that was being made by Pandemic Studios in Brisbane.
That is a rumor.
No,
that we are not.
No, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm going to go out. That is not a rumor. That is a fact. And do you know why that's a fact? Because that's been reported in the media for the last year. It was broke on IGN.com like a year ago.
It was never officially announced. But
It was never officially announced, but sorry. This is just the worst kept secret in the gaming industry in Australia.
I don't know if you did, but I've signed an NDA on this subject. So
on this exact subject.
Well, I signed an NDA when I was doing work for the Pandemic's other projects, so I can neither confirm nor deny.
You know what? You know what? You can just hand your microphone over to Phil then, can't you?
No, it's mine now.
Ah, I see. You
I've
don't want to
actually also
relinquish it.
signed an NDA, so I probably.
Hey
can't
Phil,
talk
let's
about
talk
this.
about this.
I haven't signed shit.
Look, Pandemic Studios, and I guess the news on this one is, or the current rumor, right, and it is a rumor, let's just preface it with that, is that the Dark Knight game, which Pandemic Studios were working on, apparently they've pulled the plug on the actual game, and there is going to be no Dark Knight game. Now this is...
Oh, well...
This is really fucking upsetting in a lot of respects. First of all, it's going to affect Pandemic, obviously. You know, there might be people that might be, you know, out of work or out of a job. But the other side of it is, this really potentially, if this is true, this is going to really reflect poorly on the Australian gaming industry. I mean, this is a title which, regardless of how good or shit the title was going to be, would have sold copies.
Well,
there is no doubt.
There was news, you know, rumor news back when that apparently the development was having some troubles and stuff. That I think Kotaku reported on or something. That there was troubles in development. But I mean, yeah, like to actually get the whole thing pulled is like, because you know, even if it was being pushed back and back and back, but suddenly if
How far back can a game be pushed based on a movie tie-in before it's irrelevant?
Yeah, if it was keep getting pushed back and it was, you know, the movie had come out and so everyone's on the hype train of the movie, and
sure.
the next thing I guess they could try and hit for was
the DVD. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And if it got pushed back again past that, like,
see, there was another one. I think when Superman Returns came out, there was supposed to be a Superman game that was coming out for the launch of the movie, but it didn't make it in time. Got pushed back. Came out when the DVD came out. Fair enough.
They should just
hey,
release
DVD sales. That's fine. It hypes up the buzz.
I just want a re-release of Superman for the 64. I think that's probably the best game.
Hey Simon, congratulations! You're fired.
Yeah,
you're off the team.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Out the door. Leave the
rings,
microphone.
flying through rings. Like Sonic had rings. Rings are the, you know.
Yes,
that's
and
what
all
makes
Sonic games recently have been awesome, haven't they? Yeah.
No.
Hey,
why would you say that?
This is what I keep saying to you. Well, I don't say that, but I'm saying the spirit of the sarcastic remark you just made.
Yes.
And you keep saying, oh, maybe the next Sonic game will be good. Oh, I actually quite liked it from one of the previous Sonic games.
I liked Sonic Adventures on the Dreamcast.
Yeah, the Dreamcast one was
yes,
sweet
I think
ass.
that was it.
And I am still holding out for the next... Every time there's a Sonic game announced, I still have this little light inside of me.
Do I have to bring up my piss analogy again?
Dude,
no.
I wrote about this in one of my feature articles for
Some other website.
Yeah, unnamed.
Great. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Shut up. And the whole thing was about that, yes, all new Sonic games are shitty and they're probably going to be shitty, but I have complete and utter confidence that one day there will be another good Sonic game. I just know it.
It's like the holy grail of Sonic games.
Well, the new Sonic game that's been announced, they were saying we're going back to the roots and it's going to be just...
Fuck off, they said that
last time.
Yeah, I know, but they said that, we're going back to the roots of, you know, fast running stuff, but then they introduced, it's when night falls, you turn into a were-Sonic.
And it becomes God of War.
Yeah,
Yes, we've
exactly.
all seen
You
the
basically
videos.
become a slow-moving creature, which is exactly the opposite of what Sonic should
And
be.
there's fucking humans around.
I've
Humans
seen-
do not
yeah.
belong in fucking Sonic games.
I've seen the videos of the Sonic Unleashed, is what we're talking about.
Sure.
They promise they
the-
get rid of the humans.
The fast sections.
Destroy all humans. Sorry.
Yes, that was a clever little
Two
reference.
human. two human. I'm trying to make a
Oh
segue.
shit!
Never
Yeah,
mind.
sorry.
No, not Segway, not yet.
Dude.
We're still ripping on Sonic Unleashed.
What?
The fast sections are quick time events, and the
First
slow
you're ripping
sections.
on Batman.
Yeah, Batman's old.
No,
Alright.
look, I'm sorry, I'm going to cut you off here because we
Yeah.
are starting to run out of
You're
time.
right.
There is the Batman game has apparently been cancelled from Pandemic Studios Brisbane. As soon as we know more, we'll let you know, obviously, and we'll post the information on the website. It's a shame. It sucks for the actual Australian gaming community, but we'll see what happens. You know, I got nothing more to add there, except that I'm pretty sure I would bet money on the fact that we're never going to see a game based on the Dark Knight movie.
That's a shame. We could have traded in it at EB.
I can honestly say I don't give a shit.
Well, I know if-
Screw you.
Well, the movie's good enough to stand on its own. Why the fuck do we need to play through it again with, like, stopping every now and again
does
to, like,
EA does
jump up and down and fall off a building? I don't know. Go to the next subject.
All right.
All right, move on.
The next subject, the last subject, and we are definitely running out of time here. There are four of us, so you'd think that, you know, I can understand why. But look, Too Human. We're just going to quickly touch on this. The demo came out a while ago. The game has now been released.
Yes.
I think Yahtzee's the only one that's actually played a good portion
And
of it.
there's been a lot of
I wouldn't call it a
controversy.
good portion.
Yeah, with Too Human.
Ooh.
I
Den-
played it for well, actually, I was going to say I only played it for a couple of hours, but that works. I pretend. No, I seem to be wittier than I think I am.
Two Human's being made by Silicon Knights, and there was a lot of
Yes,
controversy.
where's our Eternal Darkness 2, motherfuckers?
This
Yeah,
is
pretty
far
much.
more.
Is this
fun.
what you've been
Yeah.
making instead of making that?
Hasn't this game been in development for like 10 years? Didn't they show?
quite a
I think
while.
they showed it for
Can-
like PS1 originally.
Can
or
I
something?
just bring something up here? Because I really have not been following the development of this game. I do not know the background, the history. I'm not even a big fanboy of this particular developer.
No,
but
no,
I've
me
played.
neither.
I played the demo, and as I'm playing it, I'm like, I don't get this. Why is what am I doing here? Is this good? Because I'm not really enjoying
It's all
it.
about
It's not
Norse
It's not good.
mythology mixed with sci-fi, and I don't know what's going
I'm
on.
It's got
not
the-
against the story.
it's
I'm
very-
not against
The
concept.
gameplay,
I am
especially
against- I am
Diablo,
against
isn't
the story personally.
Of course
'cause
you are.
It's got the it's very much drenched in the mark of the auteur developer, you know, in that the guy behind the story and stuff has obviously worked it all out, but he really doesn't know how to translate it well. It just there's
Right.
a lot of feeling of a lot of cards being played close to a lot of chests,
Right.
and you couple that with shitty gameplay, and you have a big pile of poo.
Speaking
game.
about chests, there are some fantastic chests in the game, from what I've noticed, though,
Yeah, all the male soldiers wear bras for some reason.
and the females.
No, the females don't wear bras.
Actually, that's a good point. Sorry, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah, the male soldiers nicked all their bras.
Yes, because they're too human. And they
I
must
don't
wear-
get it.
I don't get your
I was.
reference.
Oh, I didn't think you were gonna get it,
Look, anyway,
but I thought you would just be too drunk to understand
Well, let me-
that I was making a terrible
Settle
joke.
down, sunshine.
Let me just say, referring to Two Human gameplay, please do not make the right analog stick anything other than controlling the camera in any third-person game, because this just isn't working out, guys.
Stop trying to be too creative with that. You don't need to
Yes.
be. We found something that works in game development. Stick with it.
Yeah,
Don't try
yeah.
and do something
How
different.
do they
Don't
control?
try and reinvent the wheel.
How do they control the camera in Too Human?
Well,
Do they just not? Do
it's
they?
just shoulder button to a centralized camera behind you.
Okay, so
which-
you can't actually like look around while
no,
doing things.
it's kind of shitty.
That worked in Ocarina of Time.
Maybe.
Did
But
Yeah, man. Yeah, I actually
Oh,
played.
yeah, that's right. Yeah,
'Cause Wind Waker had a-
Ah.
But that's because you didn't have the option of an analog stick on the 64
That's your
controller.
point. Yeah.
Yeah, but
But the right analog stick in Two Human is for swinging with your sword. To hit in the direction you're pointing, and it's very sloppy.
Yeah, I look, I'm just not sold on it.
sounds El
Look,
Lamo.
anyway, look, there's not much else for us to talk about that topic, and I think we've actually started to go over time, as we do every single time, so that's not really an
Yes,
issue.
yes, though I'm not too concerned about it. to be honest.
No, not really. But,
Because it's Yahtzee's time to shine, right? It's in the last quarter of
yeah,
the movie.
Jesus,
Go on,
what have you got for us?
tell us
It
a
is the
joke.
last quarter, man. Come on.
Do something funny.
A man walks into a bar, and his head is the size of an orange. And he goes up to the bar, and the barman says, "Your head is the size of an orange. That's kind of strange." And the man says, "Yes, it's a funny story. I was on the way home, and I saw a genie. And the genie granted me a wish. And the genie was an
Hold on,
extremely
are you
attractive...
making this up?
No, I'm telling you
No,
the joke.
I've heard this joke before. Keep going.
And the genie was an incredibly attractive female genie. And I said, being a romantic sort, my only wish is to make love to you. And the genie says, sorry, I don't have downstairsy lady parts. As you can see, my legs just taper off into a weird sort of wispy thing like genies do. And so I replied, what about giving me a little head then instead? Did you see what I did there?
Yeah, I
Yes.
did. All right, look, thank you everyone for tuning in as per usual. And
Thank
I'd like
you.
to thank all our Matt replacement guests here, Phil, Simon, and Yahtzee. Of course.
Hello,
Hello.
goodbye.
You named me last again, I noticed.
Yahtzee is always last.
Yahtzee, Phil, and Simon.
Incorrect.
That'll do.
Yahtzee, Simon, and Phil.
I'm going to kill you one day.
You know what?
Yahtzee.
Either way, Yugs first. So thanks everyone for tuning in, and we will talk to you again next week.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Is that it? That's all we've got?
Yes.
You weren't actually, offended by being put at the end there or anything, were you?
How do you know?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
Oh, of course not.
He doesn't
Yug.
care.
Of course not, my friend, who I will not kill in his sleep later in life.
Petty emotion is beneath this
The
man.
question is how much later in life? Because I mean, I'm the way I'm going is it's not going to be that much.
I like
longer.
to keep you guessing, man.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, curiosity satisfied.
Curiosity killed the
That's a reference the listeners will not understand.
It's on his hat. Yahtzee's hat has a badge that has been there ever since I've known him. That says why is that? That says curiosity satisfied.
Yes.
Why is that there?
I bought it from the Dinosaur Comics website.
Bad idea. No, not buying it. I'm just saying bad idea to make reference that there is a button because now people everywhere on
explained
forums
it.
are going to be talking about.
No, it just means that
Yahtzee's
whenever
button
people think they see him out
badge.
and about, they're going to go, look, there's a guy that looks like Yahtzee with a hat. Oh, he doesn't have that curiosity satisfied button.
I just think it's a good all-purpose phrase.
What is under that hat? I have never seen you without a hat. Oh, my god! Put it back on. Put it back on. Okay.
Oh, no, fuck.
Sorry, guys.
Now
sorry.
you know my dark secret.
I took off the hat and it was. I liked it, but those guys
I'm
didn't.
sorry, just before we go, Simon,
Yes.
how do you feel now? This is like your first podcast. This is actually the first time you've met, us. How do you feel about being part of this Australian Gamer team?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, I think...
I'm
Okay,
not
no,
part of
okay,
the
first
Australian
step,
Gamer
I need to
scene.
talk-
No,
the
of
mic
course
more.
not. You're just a reprobate that we,
I'm a homeless man you occasionally let in.
go on. You need to eat that microphone.
yeah, I know. I
man.
need to
Like you're
throw
a
it down my
whore,
throat.
sort of
Okay.
thing,
Yep. I don't know. It's good. Yeah, I'm just I kind of think of myself as a guy who plays games in my room, and it's kind of exciting to get out of the room and meet other people.
That's it. That's all we've done. We've pulled you out of the room.
Yeah. So
Great.
basically, you've
now
broadened
you're
my
gonna
social horizon.
Nah, go back to the room
Yeah, I'm gonna get back into the room soon and just chill.
and never leave again. And tell your rat friends about horrible stories about the outside world. We're finished now. Bye.
All right, bye.
Say up.